Hi, everybody. I'm Miss Marcia Antoinette, and today I'm coming to you to share with you a few principles that I have learned and decided to apply to my mindset and my lifestyle based on both negative experiences that I've had as well as positive experiences that I've had. You learn from the negative and you learn from the positive. Um, a lot of times people take their negative experiences and they move forward in a negative way. I like to take my negative experiences and assess them, evaluate them, extract from them um, things that I need to take with me into the future, um, and not be able, not have to repeat the same mistakes. Even if I move forward and I make another mistake, that's okay. As long as I didn't make the same one that I made before, because then something is wrong with me. But as long as I'm learning something new from this bad experience, okay, I'm gonna extract from it again and I'm gonna keep moving. At this point in my life, I'm a 50-year-old woman and I have to be fully aware at this time, at least if not 100% fully. Well, let me put it like this. I personally don't think that I'm 100% fully prepared for my future, for the simple fact that I don't know what my future holds. I don't know if I'm gonna ever have a husband. That's something that I don't know for a fact to be true. That is something that I hope. Now, have I been in a successful marriage as yet? No. I actually have never been married, truth be told. That's a part of the problem. Just a part, but not the whole problem. Um, but I've never been in a successful marriage, but I've been in enough unsuccessful relationships that through all that I have extracted from those bad experiences, I've also extracted good parts of those old relationships. And I have a bag of things that I don't want to move. I need to make sure is not there in a person for me to move forward with. And there are things that I have to make sure are definitely there in order to move forward in a relationship. So, but what I don't focus on is the things that are not there. What is crucial to me, because of the type of person I am, who's very flexible, and because of my experiences, I've learned to be flexible and I've learned to be accepting of shallow roots within a person. You will hear me reference gardening and all kinds of different things that I'm into because the concepts are very parallel. But, you know, I have a person who is, you know, might have all of the things that I want, but they also have some short roots. If I don't, I, I know what the short roots are, and I'm okay with dealing with those short roots because they're not a part of the the crucial issues that need to be at the forefront in order for me to have a successful relationship with you and you with me. So I feel like I'm rambling now, so I'm just going to get to my point so that I'm not taking up too much of your time. For me, my experiences have shown me that I need 5 main things, but then they stand on a certain foundation. Now, for me, those things are: you need to be knowledgeable in your intellect, You need to be financially intelligent. You need to be emotionally intelligent. You need to be physically and sexually intelligent. Those are in the same category because that references your, for me, they're in the same category because when I think of the physicality of a man, it's about his health and wellness. How healthy is his body and his wellness, and he's intelligent about his health and wellness, and he is working hard and taking steps to improve and maintain his physical health and wellness. And if a man is on point physically with his health and wellness, then that is going to send our sexual relationship into next level because we have less hindrances, and because he has good knowledge and intelligence in various areas, he's going to be, the more knowledgeable you are, the more open-minded you tend to be, because you have to keep your mind open in order to receive knowledge. So it's a mindset. So the person needs to have a mindset of intelligence on many different levels. Some people have book intelligence. I've had that. It doesn't work if that's the only intelligence they have. If you only have book intelligence, then we're going to have problems if you don't have emotional intelligence. It's just not going to work. And you can have all of the other intelligences and not be financially intelligent. That's not to say that two people can't have a great relationship with one person being financially unintelligent. But for me, I have realized through experience that for me, if both me and my partner are not both financially intelligent, it's a problem. It's a problem because I need to know that even if I'm handling the finances, that you understand the finances and that you understand the principles of it and all of that, and that if I should be out of the equation for whatever reason, that you understand and you have the intellect and intelligence and wisdom to be able to handle our finances in unison to what we have laid out for ourselves. Okay, so this is very important. You can handle the money, that's fine. But if you're not around, I can step in and do what needs to be done because I understand what is happening, and vice versa. So, knowledgeable intellect, financial intellect, emotional intellect, physical, sexual intellect, then there is godly intellect. Godly intellect. Now, regardless of what your religion is, then you would want that person to be knowledgeable in that area that you believe in. And it doesn't matter to me what it is, but in all of these areas, it is good to be equally yoked with your partner. If whatever the category, whether it's finances, emotions, physical, whatever it is, you need to be on the same page. Two people cannot reach a destination if they don't agree that they're going to that destination. And then you also have to agree on the path that you're going to take to that destination. And even if you're going to go that way and get there, and I'm going to go that way and get there, we still agreed that we were going to take these paths and come together at the destination. So you agree. You have to agree in all of these areas. The thing standing very dead smack in the middle of these 5 principles is truth. If you're not a person who lives in truth, gives the truth, and accepts the truth, I can't deal with you. have a difficult time doing that. We can operate, we can exchange, we can teach one another, but we have to be truthful. In a relationship, it's very important that we accept our roles. In order to accept your role, you have to understand your role. If I am in a situation or circumstance where there is no leader, I am the leader. This I know. I can't stop it. I can't do anything about it. It's just the way it is. When you're a leader, you're a leader. Whenever you're in a position or you're called to be a leader, you lead. It just happens automatically. So if there is a more dominant and more qualified person in my environment, I can recognize that and fall back. If they're more qualified, more dominantly qualified to lead in any particular circumstance, I'm going to fall back and respect their leadership. I also am able to switch back and forth. So I can be the leader, and then I can be the second. I can even be the third. I prefer in my love relationships that the man or my husband be the leader in most situations, which also means that I also need my husband, who I prefer to be the leader in most situations, to know how to fall back when it's time for me to lead. I need him to recognize in certain situations, I am the dominant, more qualified individual to be in the room at the time. And him be able to fall back and support me in my leadership role at that time. And when that's done, I can slip back into my secondary role. We both have to be able to support one another. My husband needs to know that although he is a leader, when he is not around, his woman is capable of stepping up to the plate and being the leader whenever it's necessary. And me as a woman, I want to know that I have the freedom to be able to be the dominant, leading woman, alpha woman that I want to be. And my husband is going to be able to support that and fan that flame and encourage me and support me and nurture me through it all, because he understands what a leader needs, because he's one, and vice versa. So this is very important for me in a relationship. When you speak of being a person being behind you and being able to have your back and lift you up, the man in my life needs to be able to be comfortable being behind me, because that means that I'm in the forefront, and I have to be okay with being behind him if he is at the times when he's in the forefront, and I have to be able to lift him up. I have to have the strength within me to lift him up in any of the areas that he is needing to be lifted, and I need to know that he can lift me up. It's like weightlifting, it's a constant thing. In order for me to be able to lift this man up, as he grows, he gets bigger. I've spoken about growth and expansion before, where if my man, like a plant, is growing and expanding, then I have to create an environment that supports that. If me as your wife is growing and expanding, I need you to provide an environment that is to help me to create an environment that is conducive to my growth and my expansion. it's it's a workout. It's a workout in all of these areas, you know, be able to work it out, work it out, work it out. How strong are you in these areas? And if you're not that strong in one of these areas, then are you working out in these areas? Are you reading books? Are you researching, trying to find out more and get more knowledge about this particular area that you're weak in? I respect that from a person. You don't have to come with all the knowledge, but do you have a hunger and a thirst for the knowledge? You know, and are you seeking it diligently, without excuses? That's another thing that, you know, I don't get into the excuse thing, but that's a whole nother thing. So how much can you lift? You know, life is like working out, lifting weights. You know, first time you go in the gym, you try to do something. I remember there's this exercise where it works your core, and I stand on this machine and I hold on to it with my arm strength, and then I lift my legs up straight in front of me. Sometimes I lift them bent in front of me, sometimes I lift it, and I hold my body and I twist, and it's a heck of a workout. Like, it's amazing. It's actually one of my most favorite things to do with equipment. But the first time I tried to do it, I was so ashamed and embarrassed because I literally could not lift my legs up at all in front of me. So what I did was, it bothered me so much that I could not even do one of those lifts, that for the next week, every time I lay in my bed, I would lay in the bed and I would hold on to the back of my mattress and I would lift my legs in front of me, as much as I could, at night and in the morning. The following weekend, when I went to the gym, I was able to do 5. I was able to lift my legs 5 times on the second try. First time I could not do 1. The next time I was able to do 5. The following time I was able to do 10. Each time I increased the number of times that I wanted to do the lifts. And this was training my belly. What I was doing in my bed was I was waking up those muscles. Those muscles were completely asleep. They hadn't been worked. So by practicing it in my bed, I wasn't really working my belly, but I was waking up those muscles and getting them used to being, you know, worked or awakened. And so by the time I got back to the gym, I was able to do it. It's important that we recognize our weaknesses and we work towards strengthening them. It's important for our personal development. It's important for our relational development. And this is something that, for me, has to be the mindset of my mate. You know, you have to be as serious about yourself as I am about myself. And then if you're serious about yourself, then you'll be serious about me. If you see that I'm serious about myself, then you'll be serious about me. If I see that you're serious about yourself, then I'll be serious about you. If I see that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing for yourself and you're handling your business, then I'm going to make sure, when I know that when I come to you, I gotta come correct, because you're gonna be like, what you talking about? You know? So this is important. This is important for us to always be equally yoked with our partner. These are the categories that I wish to be equally yoked with my partner in. There are different little idiosyncrasies and little habits that we all individually have that we have to adjust to with one another. But these are the principles that I absolutely do not compromise on. Nothing on here is about your looks. Nothing on here is superficial. These are all character traits that are very important to me. You know, all of these things that I'm pointing out are very, very serious and very important, but we have to also be able to enjoy one another and crack crack jokes at one another, and just be free. Be free to be ourselves, and know that we are an asset to one another. Neither one of us can look at each other and say, whoa, what you doing? What part are you playing in this? Or even if you don't say it, your attitude can kind of represent that. My attitude has represented that. Like, what are you contributing to the situation? Like, other than more weight, I'm carrying all of this willingly, and you don't even have the consideration to remove some of the weight from me, unnecessary weight. So, it's just being mindful of each other's needs and wants and desires, and knowing what makes each other tick, what gets me motivated and gets me excited, and being able to tap into that at the appropriate time when you see that I need that. And I ask for this because it's what I give. It's what I am prepared to do. It's what everything that I ask for in a potential husband is what I bring to the table, is what I'm willing to do. Even if I haven't been able to practice it yet, I know that this is what I want to do, what I intend to do, that I'm ready and prepared and willing to do, to make our life work in a positive and productive manner. A lot of times people ask for things that they're not willing to give. That's just foolishness. And, we're not talking about them people. We're talking about people who are willing to put in the work for what they really, really want and desire. Now, I don't know if God is ever going to join me with a man. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if he's ever going to present me with a man that has all of these things that I love and need in order to accept a mate. God has put me in a position mentally and emotionally where I am prepared to spend the rest of my life single, by myself, okay, meaning no man in my living space, and be completely and absolutely content and at peace with myself and who I am, and where I'm going and what I'm doing, and all of those things, because I know that based on these principles that I require, I haven't come in contact with that yet. I haven't come in contact with a man who demonstrates all of these categories that I just mentioned. I haven't encountered that yet. And unfortunately, well, I say fortunately, unfortunately for the men out there, but fortunately for me, I am unwilling to compromise in these areas. And as a woman, these days you have to, especially at this age, not just these days, but for a woman at my age, I have to be diligent in maintaining my principles, because I would not want the man who has all of this and more things that perhaps I don't even know that I need yet to come in contact with me and me say to him, I want you to seek knowledge, and I want you to be financially intelligent, and I want you to be emotionally intelligent, and I want you to have spiritual intelligence, and I want you to be healthy and well, or on the way to health and wellness, and I want you to be sexually versatile, man, I want you to speak the truth, but yet still I be lying. And yet still I ain't got my finances in order. And yet still I ain't read no book since high school. And I have no idea what I believe spiritually. And, I'm just falling. I'm flopping in all of these areas. And yet still I'm saying, you need to have this. The reason why I know that I need these things is because I have these things and I have compromised. And when I compromised, I found that I was suffering greatly because of the deficit that I knew wasn't there, but was willing to accept. And now I'm suffering and I'm drowning in this relationship, and I gotta be trying to put all my work and energy into trying to swim out so that I don't die, That's no way to live. Don't do that to yourself. I've done it. It's not good. Take my word for it. Don't do it to yourself. It wastes a lot of time and puts age on you, unnecessary age on you. Stop accepting what you don't believe in. All of these areas that I've pointed out are things that I believe strongly about, so I don't waver on it. As I've said, there are different little subcategories, but usually if it's there, the subcategories play themselves out. But stop accepting less than what you know you deserve. Stop calling yourself queen and not possessing any queenly characteristics. It is necessary to evaluate yourself and be able to accept and be truthful about who you are and what your strengths and weaknesses are, and be able to articulate them clearly and execute them clearly. Take your life as serious as you want someone coming into it to take it. If you don't take it seriously, neither is anybody else. So, God operates from the mind. The word says, be transformed by the renewal of your mind. So, the Holy Spirit works on the mind, works from the pituitary gland. That is where the most holy place is, in the mind. The most important knowledge that you must have, that God works every day at making us have, is the knowledge of self. It's every day learning about who you are, more and more who He created you to be. And it doesn't matter how similar people may be, every single one of us is a unique creation with its own purpose. So it's a serious thing. You have to nurture your body, which is your temple where God's Spirit dwells. And within that temple is the most holy place, that is your mind. And you have to know your temple, because my temple is like no one else's. But you need to know your temple. You need to know each and every room in that temple and work the mind. Keep it open, ready to receive at all times. Let the Holy Spirit do its thing. Let it work within you. And just always remember, to thine own self be true. And truth will follow you as the night follows the day. Then you can be false to no man, not even yourself. God bless you.